Okay, welcome back. What I want to do is continue with converting fractions and decimals, and this is now session 5, okay? So we call this session 5 now, okay? Now again, what I want to do is to write our fractions in their simplest form, and the question we're going to look at today is 0.204. Now, let me just get my pen. Let me just get my pen, 1 second, bear with me, okay? And I'm going to use a bright purple today, I think, okay? And this is the one we're going to look at for today, okay? This one, all right? Okay? Now again, you remember when we spoke in the last session, we were looking at this and we mentioned that this was over 10 and this would be over 100. So 0.72 would actually be over 100. And we showed you how to do that. And we worked it out for you on the side. Now again, the similar principle is applicable here. We're going to have to use 1,000 now. So it's going to be 0.204 over 1,000. And again, the reason for that is as we move the decimal point 1, 2, 3 places to the right, then we must add the number of noughts that is equivalent to those number of places the decimal point has moved. So excuse me. Okay. So let's have a look now. And so we're converting decimals to fractions, okay? And again, I repeat, we're converting decimals to fractions. And this is the question we're going to be looking at, okay? I'm just going to squiggle on my way across here to show you that we are looking at this question here, okay? We're not looking at anything else, just that question there. Okay, so not point two zero four. Now we need to put this in a manner, and as I said, we have to move this 1, 2, 3 places to the right. And we're going to look at bringing that as a whole number because we're going to put it over 1,000. So therefore it's going to equal to because we have to add a number of noughts to it, and we need to look at it as a whole number. Once we move it, the decimal point to the right, 1, 2, 3 places to the right, it is seen as a whole number, okay? Therefore, it will then come as over 1,000 because we have had to add 3 noughts. Excuse my funny looking knot, okay, but it is a knot. Okay, therefore it comes as 2 0 4 over 1,000, okay, and that's what we're looking at now. What we're saying then is So what we're saying then is 204 divided by 1000 is equal to what? Well, we don't know yet. But for you bright addicts, you can probably do that for yourselves, okay? But for those of us who are not that bright, we have to do it the hard way. Okay? And this is what we're going to do. We're going to put a bracket and let me just add him to him to show you that's the one we're dealing with. Okay, I'm going to put a bracket, right, and inside the bracket I'm going to put 204. Okay, now outside the bracket I'm going to put 1000. Sorry about that. Let me just, there must not be any doubt as to what that is. So let me just rub him out. We go back to my pen. Let me get my pen. Okay, thank you. And we need to make sure that it is a 0 and nothing else, and there is no conflict of any misunderstanding. Okay, 0 and another 0. Okay, so therefore we have 1204 divided by 1000. Now what is that going to do for us? Well, 1000 into 204 cannot go, so we have to put a naught up here. Okay, and we put a decimal point. Sorry, my apologies. I'm converting the wrong thing. Forgive me. I'm sorry. I apologize extremely. Dan, it's okay. I was thinking of something else. So let me rub this out. Okay, rub him out. 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 And you'll notice that I will not remove my editing. I will not edit my errors from my videos, okay, because it shows that 1, the videos are real, and 2, that they're actually been done by myself. So I'm only human and I make no apologies for that. Thank you. Okay, so what we're looking at now, so my apologies for the little bit I got diverted from something else I was doing. Okay, so again, my apologies. Right, so what we need to look at now is finding a number that will divide into 204 and to divide into 1000. Would 5 go into 204? Would 10 go into 204? Well, let's find out, shall we? Okay, so again, you can hear my clicking on my calculations, so forth, because this is what you actually need to be doing for yourselves to determine, to find a number that will go equally into 204 and 1000, and that is the important part, equally. Okay, so 204 divided by 4. Okay, so I can get away with 204 and divide by 4. So let's go with 204 divided by 4. Will 1000 divide by 4? Will 1000 divide by 4? Well, let's find out, shall we? So we're going to divide that top part by 4. we're going to divide the bottom part here by 4. Okay, that's going to equal to 51. So 204 divided by 4 equals 51. Okay, so that will give us 51. Now 1000 1000 divided by 4 equals what? Tell me, what does it equal? 1000 divided by 4 equals what? And 204 divided by 4, we say already it's 51. So 1000 divided by 4 is going to be 250. Okay, so there we have it so far. Bringing down or converting to a fraction. So we're converting decimals to a fraction. Okay, so let's begin to look at that now. Now we have 51 over 250. Is that the lowest that we can go? And my opinion, it is the lowest that we can probably go, because that will not divide into 2, it will not divide into 3, it will not divide into 4, it will not divide into 5. Okay, so let me establish that for myself and see whether or not my answer is as low as it can go. So what I'm going to determine now is to see when I divide 51 by 250, and I'm going to use a calculator. Feel free to use your calculators. Okay, get used to them. They are a tool to help you resolve mathematical equations, so use them for that purpose. Now when I divide 51 by 250, it should give me 0.204. Therefore it will tell me that this fraction is equivalent to that decimal. Okay, and I know that is correct. Okay, so the answer here, so this is our answer here, and I can tick this because I know that is correct. Okay, it's a tick. Okay, it's a tick. All right, this is a tick, not anything else. Okay, but let me take it off, buddy. Goodness me, because some people will bound to mistake it for something else. God blimey. Okay, let's see if I can do a good tick. Okay, that's a tick. Tick, tick. Right, so we know that is equal to this. Okay, and I can run this all the way around now just to show you that this is now equal to this whole thing. Is now equal. Let me bring up a different arrow, different pencil. Closing for now. Is now equal to now I'm going to just ring it around to here. It's equal to that. Okay, right, and that's the process. That's how we begin to do this. Now I do intend to work for each one in turn, and it does take time, but I'm not going to farage it, because if I'm expecting you to do this for yourselves and do the calculations, you must know and understand the concept and the process, and I am not going to shirk completing each one in turn. Okay, Right, let's do the next one, D, okay? And that's the one I'm going to look at now. So let's clean off my board because we need a clean board now, okay? So yes, I'm cleaning off the board. So I do everything from scratch so you can see everything for yourself from scratch. It acts as a recap session in its own right, okay? Right, okay. Okay. All right, that's cleared off, okay, for now. And let's look at the other one. All right, okay. Now the other one might seem a little bit tricky, and remember we are converting to fractions, decimals to fractions, and that is what we're doing, okay? Right, so what we're going to look at is this one now, okay? Let me just get my rubber out of my, get my pen. I want to use, give me blue pen, I should say, okay? And I'm going to do this one now, okay? So this is the one we're going to be looking at. Okay. So sorry about that. I'm just trying to make sure that I got it all in. Okay. Okay. Let me just bring this up a little bit. Okay. 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 Good. 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 Okay. So now let me change my pen again so I can get a different color to do the actual work itself. And we're going to go with you. Put you back today, and let's go with this. Now we are looking at this question here. Okay. We're looking at that question there. Okay. Okay. Now again, we're going to convert to a fraction, and let me make sure I got this right now. Okay, so we're going to take this equals, okay, 0.0 0 to 5. And what is it going to equal after a fraction? So let's go make it now, bring it. So what are we going to put it over? How many zeros are we going to add to this? How many zeros are we going to add for our denominator? And remember, numerator, denominator, numerator, denominator, numerator, denominator. Okay, and don't forget that. Okay, right. Okay. Oh, sorry for the long silence. It's I was just looking at something else there and thinking about something else and seeing if I needed to apply a different approach and review. But let me know what you think, guys, please, okay? Because I can only learn from you and try to do things differently when I know what is going incorrect, okay? So again, how many zeros we're going to add? We're going to decimal point move 1, 2, 3. So we're going to add 3 zeros. So that's going to make it over 1,000. Okay. So 1, add a 0. Okay, another 0. Okay. And another 0. Okay. That's going to be, well, it's still 0, 2, 5. Now this is interesting because 0.025. Yes, do I really need to put this 0 in? Well, actually yes, because it gave me the position of my number of zeros that I need to add for my denominator. Okay, so now something is interesting here actually, because when you look at 0.025, it's very interesting to consider that we have no tenths in this situation here at this point. So although we have to bring this 0 into play, what happens here, if we look at crossing out that 0 there and crossing out that 0 there, what do we get? Tell me, what do we get? What happens? And if we then divide by 5, So we divide that by 5. Because remember, I'm looking for a number that will go into 25 and 100 or 25 and 1,000. Okay, basically. So if I'm looking at a number that goes into 25 and 100 or 1,000, whichever you're looking at, depending on your perspective of the question, then 5 will work for me. Okay. So yes, so you're looking for a common number that will go into both top and bottom, go into your numerator, denominator, numerator, denominator. So again, numerator, denominator, numerator, denominator. Okay, right? So that will go into both the numerator and your denominator. So let me put my number in. Okay, and I'm going to put in my division factor. Pardon me, and I'm going to divide by 5. Okay, so 5 into 5 goes 5 into, my apologies, again it will not be edited, my mistakes are goes in. 5 into 25 goes how many times? Tell me. Okay, 5 into 25 goes how many times? And remember, we're dealing with this question here now. Okay, that's our question we're working on. Okay, so 5 into 25 goes 5 times. So let's bring our 5 down. And let's put an equal sign in because we're dealing with the above question, which is oversolved, and that is over 100 divided by 5 is what? So 100 divided by 5 equals what? 100, we've removed these two knots now. 100 divided by 5 equals what? Equals, come on, tell me. I'm waiting. Equals 20. Now, here's another interesting part, because we now have another, and that's equal sign. Okay, it's just gone wiggly. Okay, so that's the interesting part now. So if I again divide this 5 and the 20 by 5, what do I get? So let's see. Divide that by 5. Divide the, don't forget, numerator. Ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. Sorry about that. Ouch, 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 ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. Thank you. Got that back, thank you. Close you up. Alright. Numerator, denominator. Okay, so we're going to divide that 20 by 5 also. It's okay, I had to be sure that there was no misunderstanding in any additional lines in my calculations. Okay, thank you. So 5 into 5 goes what? How many times? Come and tell me. 5 into 5 goes what? Now come on guys, you should be able to answer this for yourselves. 5 into 5 goes once. Okay? Over 5 into 20 goes how many times? 5 into 20 goes 4 times. Okay. Okay, sorry about this. 1 second for me. Let me just get in this. Make sure that I'll look at this the correct way around. Okay, I'm still looking at something here, and I'm trying to make sure that the lowest common fraction will come now to being a quarter, because nothing will divide into 0. So 0 has been taken out. Nothing will divide into 0. Anything divided into 0 will be 0. So that's cancelled out. That leaves us 25 over 100. Therefore, okay, 5 divided by 5 equals 1. 20 divided by 5 equals 4. Therefore, that will bring us to a quarter. And it does work out as yes. Now this one is a little bit more peculiar because of the 0. But remember, anything divided by 0 is going to be 0. So that 0 has been removed, okay? And it gives you, as a fraction, a quarter, which is equal to 0.25. But all they've done here is to say, well, 0.25 is add an extra naught to the left or to the right, which gives 0.025. But this is your simplest way of doing it. And I'm going to stick with the answer. If you have a different answer to what I have here, please do let me know. But dividing by anything divided by 0 will be 0. So in this case here, I will simply cancel it out. Goodness me, it's so. Okay, I'm looking at this here a little bit differently, and I'm just trying to establish, but interestingly enough, to its simplest form. So okay, I'm just trying to see if there's something else I need to have done to be sure that I'm looking at this in the correct perspective. And into its simplest form would be a quarter. Yes, I'm still going to stick with that. But it shows up as come on, tell me what am I doing wrong here. Alright, Okay, let's have a look at this now. Okay, sorry about that. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm brought down to its simplest form, and I'm just trying to look at a calculations on my calculator to see whether or not is there anything I needed to have done differently, basically. Okay, that's going to be it for now. Okay. If I have any discrepancies on this one, I'm going to get back to you on that. But if you feel that there's something I've done incorrectly here, please do let me know. Okay, I'm always willing to learn myself. Because in its actual format, it would actually be okay. That will be it for today. Thank you, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Again, let's look at that. If you have found that this is incorrect, please do let me know. I'm going to revise this myself. I'm happy with the result, but I'm just trying to establish why my calculator is giving me a different answer to what I have. But it could be something on my part. But anyway, thank you for your time. Have a good day. And I am leaving my errors in. I will not move up my errors. Now I'm saying that this here. Let me change my color pen. I'm saying that there is equivalent to, again I'm changing my pen, equivalent to, it's equivalent to this here. It's equivalent to, in its simplest form, oh come on. Okay, in its simplest form, equivalent to, let's try that again. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, and have a good day. Bye bye.